Hello, and welcome back. In this episode, we're going to be answering the question everyone wants to know. How much did it cost to build this bike? How much have I spent on my mods? Well, let's get into it. I guess the first thing everyone wants to know is, how much do these engine mods cost? How much does it cost to turn a stock bike into a Stage 4 modified bike? Well, let's break it down. Firstly, we have the big bore kit. That is the cylinder, the piston, the rings, and the gasket. That costs $699 US. Then the sports cams. That was $275 US. Then you need the ECU to run those. So that was $299 US. I also added a vented airbox lid and a CBR velocity stack to help the engine breathe better. The total was $1,452 US. So for me in Australia, I had to pay the conversion and some shipping, and that turned into $2,215. Next was my suspension work. I was lucky, or I was smart. I had my stock suspension redone by a suspension tuning expert. He resprung and revalved the front forks, as well as respringing and revalving the rear shock. The total for this was $1,200. Then there was the exhaust. I upgraded the entire exhaust. First, I bought a complete Moto X full system for $299 delivered. All these prices now are Australian. I found the Moto X muffler too loud, so I bought a longer generic muffler off eBay for $100 and put that on. Total price for my exhaust is $399. That's the total cost for our performance mods to get the bike running well and handling well. If you're playing along at home, you can add those up and see how much that costs. But what we're looking at here is a complete package. So we'll continue. I then added a rally tower. You don't need a rally tower. It's purely because I wanted one, because I was actually racing in a rally and I needed somewhere to mount the navigation equipment, and two, because I like my bikes to look a bit different and I think it looks cool. I bought the Adventure Rally X tower for $943. Then I wanted to customize it even more, so I bought a KTM rally screen for $300 and modified that to fit. The total for my tower is $1,243. There's also the rear auxiliary fuel tank because I want to travel further without refueling. The rear fuel tank cost $450. Then there are the things that I'm going to call miscellaneous. These are the things that you would put on any bike, no matter what bike you bought, and they are for personal preference and for comfort. I added a new seat foam and cover for $400, a bash plate for $150, a rear rack for $200, some bark busters for $130, and a set of new handlebars for $160. The total for all these miscellaneous parts was $1,040. Now let's add my original purchase price of the CRF300 Rally. A bargain at $9,500 right away. That gives us a grand total as how my bike sits today of $16,047. I get a lot of comments from people generally interested and a lot of haters saying, "Sean, why don't you just buy a KTM?" Well, guess what? I tried that in the past. I had this very well set up KTM 530. I used it for many adventure rides. And you know what? I didn't really find it perfect. It always was a compromise in comfort or highway ability or maintenance. So I sold it. I have tried a KTM and it didn't work for me. Let's for a minute have a look at the cost of a KTM. Just a brand new standard KTM. $19,265. Wow, they are expensive. Now imagine if you were to build it up to a spec the same as my bike. Sure, it's going to have more power, but let's see what that would cost. I've saved us some time. Someone's built one and they're now trying to sell it. Have a look at this. In almost exact same spec as mine, with large tank, rear tank, seat, fairing, pretty much the same setup. And look at that price. $29,500? I could almost buy two of mine. Now, I don't want to get into an argument about which bike is better. We all choose our own bikes for many reasons. I chose a CRF because I've tried the rest. I wanted a lightweight adventure bike that can do everything and suits me. Guess what? That's what I've done, and that's what I'm using it for. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is a real life breakdown of how much I've spent and what it's cost me to get this great bike. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.